All right, time to talk about the Capital One Bowl. This is a Husker Storm blog, and we're gonna look at the Capital One Bowl between Nebraska and South Carolina. It's gonna be a battle that's surely gonna be won on the ground. The Huskers bring an option game that has produced the 13th best rushing offense in the country. The Gamecocks bring a spread that relies on the dual-threat abilities of Connor Shaw. But both defenses had their struggles against the run. Both have controlled opponents in the passing game. The Gamecocks boast one of the best front fours in the country, with Melvin Ingram leading the way. The Huskers' front four has been inconsistent so far, but the consistent play of All-American Levante David and shutdown corner Alfonso Denard have really helped. Without the likes of Marcus Lattimore for most of the year, the Gamecocks have still found a way to run the ball, with Brandon Wild carrying the ball, and Miles being a different pace back. He's got a lot of speed, and they've had success on the ground, especially with Connor Shaw. He's been the main piece of their running game. The Nebraska rushing attack is far healthier, and the O-line is a little bit more consistent. They're both very inconsistent offensive lines, though. Taylor Martinez, with his ability to slash defenses as a premier running quarterback, watch out when he gets to the edge. Burkhead's throwback 110% on every play mentality is great, and he's going to pound the rock. He's one of the best running backs in the country. Nebraska rarely goes away from Burkhead in the running game, and they rarely go away from the run game in general. But if they do, Amir Abdullah is going to be the backup running back. His speed is a good complement to Rex Burkhead's physical running. The passing game has been irrelevant for both teams, but Alshon Jeffrey, he boasts the size and the ability to be a great player in the NFL, and he's a big play threat in college football. Nebraska's wideouts are young and inconsistent, but when in rhythm, they play well. Some disappointing news for the Huskers, as off-field distractions have not been an issue under Pelini, but just like last year when Baker Steincool and Ricky Tenars got DUIs, they were suspended for the bowl games. This time, Mike Caputo gets a DUI, and it looks like he'll probably be suspended for the bowl game. Now, there is news that it could potentially not be taken care of till after the bowl game, because there's the case is being worked out or something in Bo Pelini, but I'm pretty sure Bo Pelini is going to crack down and take care of this. But who knows? He could play, and if he doesn't, it's going to be Cole Penzick. Going to be interesting to see how he strides in the future, because he'll probably be competing for the center job if he doesn't get it. I think he's a walk-on. We'll see how he fills in. Mike Caputo's been pretty solid on the line. He's played good. Walk-on center, played 26 straight games, so he's definitely a leader on that line, and he'll be surely missed. And another incident: Eric Martin leaves the scene of an accident. He's the pass rushing specialist and a special teams player. But, he's been all right on defense. He's gotten 2 sacks. He's made plays. He's probably our best pass rusher, which isn't saying much. He'll be filled in and he'll be taken care of. The biggest question is running between the tackles now if Mike Caputo's not there. We'll have to see how that goes. But we're going to go through what I'm going to do is the 5, which is going to be 5 different categories of 5 things that we're going to talk about. So we got 5 things I want to see. There's 5 things that I want to see. And, if I don't see it, I'm going to be disappointed. Playmakers in space. That's the number one thing I want to see. Sean Watson, he was a genius when it came to this. Nebraska was the most explosive offense last year. They had quite a bit of 20-yard plays, but it was the 40, 60-yard, and 80-yard plays that they had the most in the country, too. Yeah, that's above Oregon. Just to let you know. That's how explosive they were. But they were inconsistent. They couldn't keep a drive going unless they got an explosive play. This year, Nebraska is much more consistent on keeping drives going, but they've seemed to get rid of the explosive plays. Tim Beck, he's new. He's definitely got the consistency thing down. If he can develop some of Sean Watson's ideas and put it together, playmakers in space are going to be huge. Yes, Rex Burkhead isn't Roy Hill. He doesn't have his speed. But Taylor Martinez is still Taylor Martinez. You put on one of those backup backs, they can surely do close to what Roy Hill could do. They're not as good as Roy Hill. I'm not gonna say that, but they can create explosive plays. You got Jamal Turner and Kenny Bell out wide. If Jamal Turner plays, Kenny Bell's got to make some explosive plays. There's some explosive plays in the passing game, but nothing explosive in the running game since non-conference play really in the Ohio State game. So I definitely want to see that. Definitely want to see Taylor Martinez break a huge run. It's going to be interesting to see what he schemes up. Tim Beck does. But, I credit to the Big Ten defenses. They're much better than the Big 12 defenses. But our wide receivers, they're young. They're not blocked. They don't block quite as well as Paul does. Quincy Nuno does. Kenny Bell's still learning. Jamal Turner, whenever he's on the field, still learning. Brandon Kenny's inconsistent at everything. But the offensive line's still learning. You just need to set the edge and let Taylor Martinez go. Now, I want to see explosive plays. I don't think I'm going to see that much because this is a fast defense, but I still want to see it. I think we're going to explosive play in the passing game. Stick to what you do best. That's one thing I want to see for sure. The diamond formation. This thing has never failed. I haven't seen it fail yet. And, we don't run it that much. I want to see that diamond formation a lot today. Not today, but in the Capital One Bowl, I want to see it a lot, and different stuff out of it. There was a play against Iowa where Amir Abdullah came in motion, or one time they ran it with Tim Marlowe. They ran it about 4 times, and each time they picked about 8 to 10 yards. Taylor Martinez made a read on the end, I believe, and if the end crashed, he ran it. Taylor Martinez took it. If the end sat, or no, it's the other way around with that one, because the guy's in motion. If the end crashed, Taylor Martinez ended it off, and if the end sat, Taylor Martinez took it. I think they was reading that. I don't know. I never broke it down, but that play always worked. And so you got to stick to what you do best, and the diamond formation is one of the things Nebraska does best. I want to see Aaron Green and Jamal Turner. Aaron Green, he should have been redshirted this year. 5-star running back, one of the top in the nation last year. He didn't get much playing time this year, and it's disappointing. Bo Pelini's got to do a better job of controlling his player. No wonder there's been players transferring and stuff. It's because he just doesn't do a great job of keeping his players happy. Let's face it, Cody Green transferred because Cody Green's a pussy, but he transferred. Dontre Robinson, he transferred. Now, he didn't fit the scheme really, but I think he would fit this scheme nowadays, the one that we're running now, the downhill running game. And he transferred. Breon Carnes talking about transferring. I don't want to lose one of these running backs though. These guys are gonna be 300 monsters in the future, and got to get Aaron Green involved. Get him in that dimes formation. Jamal Turner, I know he's not giving 150% effort in practice, but I hope he does here, because it's disappointing not to see that kid on the field. He's such a playmaker, such an athlete. I'm gonna see him maybe in the Wildcat somewhere. Sacks. I want to see blitzes. I want to see pressure on the quarterback. I don't want to see Nebraska forgetting that the quarterback can scramble. I want to see them hit the quarterback hard. I haven't seen that all year. It's been disappointing. And this is a dual threat quarterback. Got to lay a hit on him. I want to see who's on the sideline for defense coordinator. Mike Stoops, John Papuchis, Ron Zook. I don't know who's going to be. I definitely want to see that and see what they scheme up. 5 must to a victory for Nebraska. 200 rushing yards. No question about it. When they get 200 rushing yards, they're undefeated. When they don't, well, we see what happens. Don't beat yourself. No turnovers. When Nebraska turns the ball over, they lose. And all 3 of their losses, they have 8 turnovers. 2 against Northwestern, both in the red zone. And they're at key times, too. Special teams, 2 against Michigan, and a fumble by Taylor Martinez against Michigan. They get the ball inside the 35 3 times. That leads to touchdowns. No wonder they scored 45. Wisconsin, 3 interceptions. Come on. They dropped the ball back and passed it 20 times. Tim Beck got out of a scheme. He even admitted it. That's not going to happen again. But you can't turn the ball over and beat yourself. And make Connor Shaw pass it. Exploit him. You got to make him pass it. Get pressure on him. Don't let him use his legs. Let Levante David play spy. Scheme it up, Bo. Let's go. 25 carries for Burkhead. He's got to get 25 carries or more. He's got to be a workhorse in this game. T-Rex is a beast, and if he doesn't get 25 carries, that means Nebraska didn't have the ball enough. Keep the sticks moving. You can't get in obvious passing situations, otherwise this pass rush with Jadeveon Clowney and Melvin Ingram's going to get unleashed. And they're 4th in the SEC in sacks. They lay hits on the quarterback. You got to get yourself into short down situations, so you got play action, running, and passing possibilities. Not where you're 3rd and 10, you got to pass the ball. No penalties, come on. Can't get holdings. All right, 5 numbers to look at. We got 3rd downs on both sides of the ball. 3rd downs on both sides of the ball, 44% for both teams. Defensively, I'm not sure exactly what it is. That's the offense, though. Nebraska is not stopping teams on third downs that well defensively, and South Carolina does because they got a good pass defense. Nebraska got a good pass defense, but they allow quarterbacks to scramble way too easily. So, third down percentage, very similar for both teams besides the defensive part. Red zone, very similar. South Carolina does lack the special teams. In terms of kicking, I think they've kicked 7 field goals. So, Nebraska's definitely got the edge there. Rushing attacks, very, very similar. Nebraska's 13th, South Carolina's 26th. Now Nebraska relies on the run a little bit more, and that'll show in their passing stats. 97th for South Carolina, 103rd for Nebraska, very, very close. Defenses, 2 good pass defenses, 1 really great pass defense, 1 good pass defense, but allows some big plays because you got young cornerbacks who just don't know how to play the ball. And 2 decent rush defenses. Now, South Carolina's stats are slightly skewed on the rush defense because of triple option teams that they faced. And special teams. Nebraska's got the edge against every team they play in special teams, no matter who it is. They're one of the best special teams in the country. When they don't produce on special teams, they lose. Special teams, South Carolina struggle on punt return coverage, struggle on kick return coverage, and Nebraska has struggled on punt return coverage, but they do pretty decent on kick return coverage. They've done a good job of punting and field goals. Now, 5 things to watch. The scheme. What's Bo Pelini's scheme going to be? Who's going to make the scheme? What's it going to be? When Bo Pelini has time to prepare for a team, especially a month, they get shut down. That's what happens. Alfonso Denard versus Alshon Jeffrey. Alfonso Denard's done his job against NFL caliber wide receivers. Now let's see if he can do it against another great one. Alshon Jeffrey's got the size, the ability. He doesn't have the quarterback passing to him, so his numbers are down. But, he's going to get one play. I think it's going to be an explosive play, maybe a touchdown. But for the majority of the time, Alfonso Denard's going to make plays, especially with the safety helping him up top, and his great vertical. That's going to be interesting. I want to watch that. The pass rushers, no question. The best pass rush, I think, in the country. They don't even have to blitz half the time because they get pressure on the quarterback. Jadeveon Clowney, that kid's a monster. Melvin Ingram is amazing. He gets touchdowns. He's got 2, and he's got like a fake punt for a touchdown. Connor Shaw versus David. I think Levante David's going to be a key part of stopping Connor Shaw from scrambling. I think he'll be playing spy. He's got to make some plays, and he's going to make some plays. No question about it. And the last but not least, the other thing to watch is Nebraska ground game against this great front 4 and the SEC speed. Can Nebraska run the ball on them? It's a big question. And can Nebraska get some explosive plays with this SEC speed? It's going to be interesting and something to watch for sure. Now, 5 predictions for this game. Bearcat will get 120 yards of rushing. He's going to get 25 carries at the minimum, probably 30, I'd say. And, 4 yards a carry, that's enough to get 120 rushing yards. Levante David with 15-plus tackles and a turnover. He's going to get a pick or he's going to force a fumble. He makes plays, and he's going to make one at this game. Jeffrey will have 1 explosive play, but mostly be quiet. I think he's going to get an explosive play. He's big. He's got great ability. He's going to get up there and make 1 play. Amir Abdullah will have a key play on special teams. Special teams has been a lack thereof for South Carolina, and Amir Abdullah hasn't had much chances of late to make great special teams play. I think he's going to get it. Whether he gets the end zone or not, it's going to still be a key play. And maybe, who knows? I don't know. Maybe he gets the end zone. Maybe his key special team plays, he fumbles it. Who knows? Even though I think he's got no fumbles lost on special teams. The score. All right, my score for this game is Nebraska 23-17. I think Nebraska's going to pound the rock, get 200 rushing yards, and they're going to control South Carolina's offense, and Nebraska's going to win this one. Bo Pelini's going to put together a scheme. Whoever the defensive coordinator is going to put together a scheme, and I think these teams are very even, and it could go either way. I don't see it being a blowout unless teams make huge mistakes. And, it could be even lower scoring. I don't see it any higher scoring than that, but it's going to be an interesting game. Definitely check it out. SEC speed versus Big Ten power, if that's what you want to call it. We'll see. And thanks for watching. Check out my other bowl game videos.